Next one. Ben says, if we wanted to only push map rankings, would you prioritize spending client budget on relevant links or premium press releases from Press Advantage? Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Assuming the brand is well established. Okay, so question is, if all they wanted to do was improve maps ranking performance, would I recommend spending money on links? So relevant links, semantic links, links with topical and or geographic relevance, or premium press releases from Press Advantage, assuming the brand is well established? It's a good question. I don't have an answer. And the reason I don't have an answer is because I have not done only press releases as a ranking tactic for several years. When we Semantic Mastery launched Local PR Pro many years ago, I had gone through a several month testing process of testing press releases as the only thing we used to rank GBPs, or at the time it was called Google Places, or maybe Google My Business. It was probably Google My Business at that time. Anyway, that was the only time I have tested press releases only for ranking Google Business profiles. And by the way, I set out when I developed that training course, it was purely based upon the results of me setting out to disprove the claims made by a press release company. Chris Munch with the no, it's not Chris Munch. I'm sorry. Maybe it was. No, I don't think it was him. Whoever's the guy that has it used to be Press Cable, but then it became Amplifier, I think. I think it's still called Amplifier now, but anyways, Press Cable, whoever that dude is. Maybe it is Chris Munch. Anyway, can't remember, but I just remember it was years ago when Press Cable, I mean, like I said, they're still promoting it, but under a different name. But Press Cable, again, this was probably back in 2015, something like that. But they, there was the webinar, like they still probably promoted. I'm not on their list anymore, but for years they were promoting Press Cable, and like they promoted the shit out of it. And they constantly say like, all you need to do is press releases and you can rank and rank. And I was trying to call their bluff, like say, you're full of shit. And so I literally set out to prove him wrong, and he was right. I was wrong. And I just couldn't believe what I was able to achieve with press releases only at that time. Now, this was many years ago. And so I developed a whole program called Local PR Pro, which was specifically about using press releases to rank Google business profiles. And but over the years, of course, that it's changed, right? All things that work well will stop working at some point, right? Because more people catch on, especially when you develop a training course and then sell the course. Now a lot of people are doing it. Eventually, Google will shut it down. That's what happens. It always happens. So anyways, I haven't done anything with where I've used press releases exclusively for the ranking tactic in years. We use them now in combination with semantic links or links with relevance and citations and branded assets and all the other things that I just showed you guys and demonstrated right here. All those other things. Press releases are absolutely part of it. See that right there? But it's not the only thing. You understand? It's part of everything else that we do. So I can't answer that question. If you wanted to only push maps rankings, I would say do a little bit of both because you've got more diversity of signals. Do you understand? That's important. If you overdo one thing, typically it will become less effective, right? So diversify the signal generation and how you're trying to create or produce performance gains, and you will typically get better results. So I would recommend diversifying the different types of links, not just focusing on one type. And by the way, you don't have to do all premium press releases in order to get results from press releases. What we teach, and here, I'll just share the training with you again, guys. Talked about this and shared this many times, so stand by for a minute. I'm going to do a quick channel search for, I can never remember the fucking title of this, press release update 2024. There it is, press release for local SEO 2024 update. This process here has not changed. I'm going to grab this link, put this in chat. This is a full-on webinar. It's publicly available on our YouTube channel, and I go through very specifically. Let me see if I can. There's Jeremy from Press Advantage, a friend of Semantic Mastery for sure, local PR Pro training. I don't know that that's still listed under there. I'll send you guys the slides too. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Go into my Drive file and grab the URL, and I'll put it in chat for you guys in just a minute. I don't think it's still under the local PR. Yeah, it is. It sure as hell is. There it is. All right, so here it is. I'm going to give you guys the slides too, but I can cover this just briefly now. But what I recommend is PR stacks. Let's see. This is slightly different because Google Business Posts are not recommended anymore, but this part of it, and if you just watch the webinar, the relevant sections of that video are in, or excuse me, the relevant sections are in the video. But here's a press release stack, right? There's a difference between a stack and a silo, at least the way that I look at them. A press release silo is where you daisy chain them together, where you have a top of silo. So TOS is top of silo or top of stack, depending on what it is that you're not, or it could be terms of service, right? But I'm talking about as far as the press releases go, I call the TOS as top of silo or top of stack, depending on which method or configuration you're using. A silo is where they're daisy chained together, where there's an A, right? So the top of silo is going to be the first press release. That is what you should use as a premium. But there's no reason to use premium press releases for any subsequent releases in either the silo or the stack. And a silo, they daisy chain together. So press release A being the top of silo should be a premium. Press release B links to press release A. That can be a standard. Press release C links to B, standard. Press release D links to C, right? So D to C to B to A. That's a silo. Okay. A stack is where you have a top of silo or top of stack PR, again, premium. And then you have supporting press releases that just link to the first press release in the top of stack, right? And those would be standard. So that way you can save money. There's no reason to constantly do premium press releases, in my opinion. But the idea here is to use a brand anchor. And all of this is in here, guys. I'll put this chat. Again, some of the earlier stuff in there might not be relevant, but if you watch the video while you're reviewing these, I'll put this on anyone with the link. Then you'll know exactly which is relevant. Okay. So let me put that in chat as well. But the whole point is at at the top of stack or top of silo, depending on how you structure that batch of press releases, I recommend a premium at the top and use a brand anchor or a compound anchor, otherwise known as a brand plus anchor, to link directly to the money site, right? What do I mean? Well, a compound anchor or brand plus means brand plus a location modifier or brand plus a keyword, product or service keyword, or both. Brand plus the location, product or service plus the location. Use a semantic triple. Guys, I've been teaching about this for years, right? An entity association statement. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is where we do it. Use that in a longer phrase and use that as the anchor text linking back to the money site. That's a semantic triple. The language models understand that. I promise you, that is how we should be optimizing for language models, is not only in the anchor text itself, that is one way to do it, but just if the anchor text is surrounded by a semantic triple. Like, in other words, if only part of the semantic triple, again, another name for that is an entity association statement. So if you have an entity association statement and only part of that entity association statement is hyperlinked, that's still part of an entity association statement. So the language models, when they ingest that content, they're going to follow the link over to wherever it goes, but they'll understand the contextual relevance of that link because of the semantic triple that surrounds it. Do you understand? So what I'm getting at is you want to use the top of stack or silo press release as a premium using a semantic triple either as the full anchor text or surrounding the anchor text. Do you understand? With a brand plus anchor. Brand plus location modifier, brand plus product or services, or a combination of all three. Okay. And then all your supporting or subsequent press releases will link using supporting topics, subtopics, sub-themes, supporting themes, whatever you want to call it, longer tail versions, whatever, that each one of those subsequent press releases are optimized for supporting content purposes that then are going to link to the top of stack or top of silo PR, thereby pushing relevant link equity and contextual topical relevance from supporting press releases up to the top of stack that is done via premium through a direct link to the money site. It's one of the very few times that I recommend linking direct to the money site with a press release. Okay. But that is, again, all of this is put right in here so that you guys have that. And again, that's publicly available on our YouTube channel. And I think the slides might be referenced in here. And if they're not, I should probably put them in the description as well. Okay. Good question.